brothers and sisters. I am here. Give me a moment. Trying to get everything situated. As you know, being a professional YouTuber takes time, so just give me a second here and I'll get everything situated. Uh, Look in here. So you can get a 5 by 5. Give me a second. Hey, if I fall back to sleep, I'm sorry. Say, hey Red, doing well. If I fall back to sleep, sorry. Okay, no, yeah, no worries. You can just listen. I gotta go grab my coffee in a second, but I will be talking soon. Can you hear me? Can I get a 5 by 5? Can you hear me? Let me know. I'm just getting my laptop so I can make sure I'm loud and clear for everybody. And turn this down. Let's see. Go live. 5 by 5, great. Awesome. Let me go grab my coffee and then I'll start the show. And we'll talk about some stuff. Alright. I always like to have it on the big screen here because then I can take my glasses off and I don't have to look like a four eyes. Let's grab this up here. It's time to get another computer for sure. So this moves. I think I need to invest in that and not a. I thought about getting a self-flying drone to make some videos of me throwing knives and then maybe going to the range somewhere, but I don't know if that's a good investment, you know. Come on now. Come on. They have to stick with the price. It's not me. Come on. I need you to be a touch screen. Come on. Price. Alright, come on. Alright, I'll be back. I'll be back. Oh shoot. Alrighty. Let's hope I don't have to wear my glasses because then that means that I have to. If you're in Texas right now, you feel that weather change, and it seems like everyone's getting allergies again. So, all right, back on the mic. 1 2 1 2. Got my computer right here. We're gonna talk about the world and where we're at, and why we're there, why we're here, where we're at. Get you some of that flag right there. Yeah. All right. Come on now. There you go. Coffee is very important, huh? In this day and age. We need, I'm still drinking my mushroom coffee. I want to see the full screen, but I don't want to see myself. I just want to see the comments. So, yeah, lots going on in the world today, and it's unfortunate that we can't just express our freedom of speech. And welcome. Let me get my screen here to go up. Patriot, and I will tell you hello as well. What's that? YouTube. God bless. Patriot Warsaw. What's going on, brother? I just see partially of it. Why is my screen not scooting over? I really don't want to have to. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now I got the comments blown up big and I don't have to like. All right. Hey, Red, I'm at work. Wanted to let you know I made it and dedicated A tribute in honor of Charlie Kirk. Okay, I'll check it out. It's posted on my channel. Check it out when you get free. Yeah, will do, brother. Will do. In fact, let me see if I can open this up so that way I can come back to it. Okay, I got it open, and I know it's 4 minutes and 7 seconds. So I got it open in the second window. I'll check it out after the live here. But yeah, it's in the state of mind that we live in these days, it's unfortunate that such a sad situation. Yeah, it's 10-4 red. Yeah, it's. I think this is definitely what's the saying? The shot heard around the world. Definitely, I think this is the shot heard around the world. For the in regards to the Charlie Kirk situation and his family, but to see that live on TV, on not TV, but because they don't show it, but like on the internet, was crazy. Just all the different angles. I mean, the far away one, and then he just popping up, but the one that's up close, where you just this is my left side, where you just see it kind of like he's just like pouring out, and then he's like. And then it's like I was like, oh man, that's it. He's not coming back from that. But I have seen justice warriors on the internet, and there's like one for sure. I think there's two people that are reporting people that are making fun of the whole Charlie Kirk thing, and those people are getting fired. Like they're losing their job, and I'm like, dang. But that. It tells me something when I see, and again, there's two sides to that, right? Because freedom of speech goes both ways, right? And I think the only reason why you're now seeing people not protest, but they're like standing up and saying something, because I think in England or somewhere in Britain, there's like mass amount of people coming together, in memorial, I guess you can say, because it's not protest, because no one's protesting, right? I don't think the right does that, but definitely when something goes down on the left side, you tend to have a lot of people that start, oh, we're going to loot the stores and we're going to march and this and that, and that's not what's happening now, right? Hello, I don't think the Scorpio on your cup. Oh, I don't like the scorpion on your cup. Had one get me in my sleep not long ago. Oh wow. Well, unfortunately for you, nah, that is my sign. I'm a Scorpio. So, and on the back, it tells you what the Scorpio is. So, I'm gonna put it right there. I know I may be backwards on the screen, but yeah, I'm a Scorpio. I'm a nice Scorpio compared to some of the other Scorpios that I know that are they're like hard asses mean, but I'm pretty reasonable. Please wait while we try to reconnect. Okay, it's reconnecting. But yeah, I think in this day and age, with what's going on in the world, it's sad to me that we can't communicate, right? Because on one end, people find him offensive because he talks about the things that he believes in, right? And I've seen tons of videos and footage and debates or whatever, but at the end of the day, the guy's not a politician. Yes, he is an influencer and he influences young minds. That's why he was going to the campuses, to the colleges. But at the end of the day, he doesn't pass any laws, right? He's not directly affecting your rights. Like, you have the right to go up to the mic and talk to him. You have the right not to show up to the protest. You have the right to continue down the path of life that you're on. Whatever relationship of the aisle that you like or want, you still have that right. And that's what I think a lot of people they're not comprehending. I see red more than anything. What's me and all this stuff going on? I believe two things, not just America. We're doing good versus evil. Agree. Spiritual warfare and the fat people have turned. Yeah, it's It just blows my mind that, like, how do we get to this point? How do we get to this point? Is what I keep telling everyone. I'm a fish water son too. My grandma was, and one of my best friends is a sculptor too. Cheers to your grandma, right? Away from God. I think people need to realize what we are dealing with in America. And again, I think that event was the shot heard around the world. And literally, I don't mean that in a funny way. I think that was the shot heard around the world, that now you've just woken up the sleepy giant. Because now I think a lot of patriots, a lot of right wing or conservative right wing, I think that they're tired of it. They're not. People are not. Hey Joe, what's going on? Cheers. I'm just talking about the world events for a little bit, and then maybe move on. But I think that conservatives, right wing Americans, patriots, I think they're just fed up. We're not doing the whole they, them, it, me, you. They're not. They're not. They're not tolerated anymore. And it's not that they don't want to. I don't want to say accept, but they don't want to acknowledge that there is a class of group of people out there that want to be identified, you know, a certain way. It's just stop pushing that on us. Stop pushing that on the world. Stop forcing people to accept that you are a they, them, me, now, cat, dog, whatever. And I think that's what Charlie stood for. You know, I don't want to speak for the guy, rest his soul, but I think that was he was pushing that hey, this is right, this is wrong. And again, it was his personal opinion, to each their own. I'm not going to sit here and say everything he said was the gospel, um, but that's what he did, right? Did it affect me? No. I consider myself to be a Christian, a Catholic. I'm not what some people may identify as an extreme religious person. I tell people I'm a man of faith, and people will disagree with me. They're like, no, you need to do this, this, and this. Hey, Bizza, what's going on, brother? People will say you have to be this, and that, and believe. No, I don't. I believe in what I believe in. I don't push my belief on you. I don't tell you that you're wrong and that I'm right. I think everybody should believe in something. If you want to believe in a statue versus, you know, the God that I believe in, or if there's a Buddha, or, you know, every religion has their own, their God that they worship or they believe in or have faith. I'm not here to tell you that you should or shouldn't. Just don't impact what I believe or my lifestyle is. You know, it's like to each their own, and that's what makes America great. Is you have the right to go in the direction that you want to go in, without forcing your ideas on someone else. You can share your ideas, but I don't think you should force your ideas, right? There's a lot of cases in this world, sadly, and very overwhelming in our beautiful country, and I pulled myself way out of politics. Yeah, at this point, I don't even talk about politics because, as I've said on my social media platforms, aside from this one, is I've said this statement, that is, politics are destroying this country. Politics are dividing us in ways that we've never seen ever in this lifetime of America being America. It's destroying us. It's destroying us, and politicians aren't necessarily stepping up saying, "Hey, we can do better. We can be better." You know, we don't have to destroy each other. It's okay for us to be on different sides of the spectrum of politics, but we can find some common ground because we still have to live in this country, right? We still, and the thing is, a lot of us have more things in common than we realize, right? I like to say we all like to eat, we all like a roof overhead, we all have bills, we all have life experiences that happen to us. You got to go see the doctor, you get sick, whatever, right? We all want a livable wage, right? We all have to work. These are common ground things that we all share, right? We all have to, if you have a family and they have a family and these people, we all have kids and they have to go to school. That's something common, right? But I don't think you should have to worry about your kid going to school and then you seeing a certain kind of flag up there, right? Or the teacher is pushing this agenda on your kids. I think it should just keep it educational and teach the geographics of man and woman. And then beyond that, you let the parents handle that. You let the child, who eventually will turn into a teenager or a young adult, let them decide the path they want to go on. All right, Joe, I'm just read yours. He was getting through the young people, many of the efforts of well, he felt for years until exactly. And that was the thing, because that's exactly what the other side was doing, and that's fast forward to now. Now you have the product of that idea, that environment that everybody has to go to college, which I've told you before, I don't agree with, right? Right? I think forcing that idea that everybody should be able to go to college, and while I agree on some level, everybody should have the opportunity to go, but I don't think everyone should go to college, because then you fast forward that idea back in I'll say the early 90s, when I was graduating high school, 93. I found that more and more people were pushing, go to college. Oh, here's loans. Here's a $50,000, 75,000, 100,000, 150, and it's like, now you got to pay that loan back. And I don't think your brain is developed as a young person going into college. It doesn't develop until you're like 25, 26 or so. And your mid to late 20s, it doesn't really develop like, shit, I gotta pay this back. And I've seen tons of videos online where people say, I was young at the moment, I didn't know what I was doing. Well, where were your parents at? And this is why I say I don't think everyone should go to college. Not because I don't want to see people go to college, I just don't think college is for everyone. Patriot, I was once a former blue-collar Democrat when I was in high school until the second term of Obama was in. Same here, Patriot. I've been Republican conservative when I voted for. Yep, same here. Second year of homeschooling for my. Yeah, Bizza. Yeah, and I think that, while not everyone can do that, I think that you're seeing a difference in your child versus other people's children that and saying, man, and I'll say this, Bizza, because growing up, I did have an opportunity to go to a Christian school, like elementary or middle school, whatever, and I didn't go that route. But I will say, and I've said this to my daughters, and that is, take what I'm trying to teach you and apply it as best as you can to the world, because I know the world has changed since I was growing up. So everything that your daughter is learning at home, great, take those principles, those ideas, that upbringing into the world and apply it as best as you can, but just know that some of that will not fit in today's world when that time comes for you in the future. Does that make sense? So take what you know. So while these tools are laid out on the table, right? Like, this is the tool, this is a tool, these are tools, all this stuff, right? Apply them into the world in the future, but those tools may change, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that school loan, that thing was a slave. Yeah, and then so many people, fast forward, Joe, fast forward, I've seen so many, like, TikTok, YouTube videos. A lot of YouTubers are reviewing other videos. I know that's the new thing. They'll sit there and they'll analyze people's videos. But the thing is like, let me go back up here because I don't want to. Your loan, okay. And the thing is like, now they're in a shithole because they're like, if they didn't finish college, now they're working at Pizza Hut or somewhere making minimum wage, and they'll never pay that loan off. Or some of them did finish school, but now they can't find a job in that field. And even when they do, sometimes they paid like thousands and thousands, and it's still like they'll never pay it off. Most of them will never pay it off. And I believe, if I'm wrong, correct me, I believe when you get a student loan from the government, you can't include that in your bankruptcy if you file for bankruptcy. That is one of the stipulations in a government, not government, but in a student loan, that this is not on the table for you. If you decide to file bankruptcy one day as an adult because shit happens, this won't be included. You're still going to owe it for the rest of your life. And I think that's something that they should teach in school, or your parents should teach you, or somebody should tell you, think about this. And I've told my kids this too. In your lifetime, in any lifetime, as an adult, most people go through 2 to 3 careers in their lifetime. At least 2 to 3 careers in their lifetime. All right. All alone, it's all alone. It's a debt you gotta pay back. Yeah. Typo loan. No, I got you, bro. Don't worry. I'm not Patriot. I'm not a person that says what you meant was this. I've had people do that to me, and I get you. Bizza, we homeschool all 6. Oh, you got 6 kids, Joe? It worked out well. Great. Good advice. This is an analogy, but it's no different if you were taking money from the mob and you're promising to pay it back. Yeah. Except the mob will break your legs. Or so. Glad you saw the light. It's always great to see people wake up. I've been ingrained in politics because I know. But I agree with you. This country has lost sight of it. Bizla, hey Joe, we got her out of public school about 6 years ago. Catholic, yeah, I'm Catholic too, brother. Again, I'm not your deep embedded. I'm gonna preach to you and live by the Bible. I say my prayers and eat my vitamins, like Hulk Hogan says. But I have faith in God. I have faith, and I say my prayers at night, and I pray, and I try to stay humble and say, God, protect me. Thank you for another day of life. And I'm not preaching to you guys. I'm just saying this is what I do. So 6 kids, yeah. Joe, I got 6 kids too. Not all from the same wife. This second wife had 4, and I had 2 from previous, so we have 6 together. But yeah, all kids are grown up. We have 3 grandkids, so I'm 6 for 6, but I'm about half of your grandkids. Not a little bit less than half. I'm gonna go heat up my coffee real quick. I'll be right back. Talk some among yourself. Give me like 2 minutes. I'll be back, and we will continue. Alrighty, I'm back. I'm back. And yeah, the thing is, guys, it's like, where do we go from here? And there's nowhere to go but up, right? Nowhere to go but, yeah, yes, also changes never. Yeah. Um, Go ahead, Paige. You can share a verse as long as it doesn't get too like long-winded or whatever. But yeah, something like that's fine. Yeah, I don't mind. Because somebody out there may need it, right? Maybe not now, but later on. But the thing is, it's like, where do we go from here? And I don't flood you guys with my little quotes or whatever, but I am gonna post some here soon, maybe on the shorts or whatever, or just stuff that I post on other social medias. But I try to stay positive in the aspect of not being negative, right? There's enough negativity in the world. It's just read that the side chat won't allow it. Okay. And The thing is like, I think the older we get as individuals, I think, and some of us figure this out sooner than others, but I think the older that we get, life humbles us, and we realize, right? We we realize that time is short, and you don't have time to waste as you get older, right? You got less time, and then you start to realize, how do I want to spend my time? Do I want to do I want to cut this whole yard that I have? Do I want to go and put on new knobs and shower heads? Do I want to you know fiddle with this electrical thing in my house? I got to watch some YouTube videos. Or do I have the means to pay somebody? And I'm at that point now. It's like, I don't want to do stuff that breaks my back, especially when I have the funds. Now I'm no millionaire by any imagine, but I do have, you know, enough funds that I can I can take care of me and my wife in the household and say, I don't want to do the plumbing. I don't want to do that. I don't want to watch YouTube videos and watch this and have headaches and misery and I'll go back up on the chat. I don't want to do that because I value my time. My time is valuable to me, and I don't want to spend my weekend breaking my back fixing something just to save some money. And not everyone can do that. I get it. Some people just have to say, I don't have the means for that. But I do, and I can't change that for other people, but I have the means to do these things so that I can enjoy my weekend. I can enjoy my weekend and rest and then go back to work on Monday. Let me see. I sit on every day and thank God for even the smallest things. It's been humble. It's being humble that our Creator has us. I don't believe in organized religion, but I will think. Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same page as you, JH 556. I'm at in the point in my life now. I'm not going to preach to other people. If you ask me about something, I'll tell you what I believe in or what I think. But at the end of the day, I'm just a man. I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. I have flaws. I make mistakes. I'll be the first one to tell you I have flaws. I make. Some people, it's hard for them to do that. There you go. Go back up. Let me go back. I know there's more comments, but I'm trying to adjust my computer so that I can. All right, let me go down. That verse always hits. Okay. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, but the thing is like, where do we go from here? And I think the only way to go is to continue, right? And you know, talking about politics is always it's like you never win. You can never win that conversation with another side. And whether you're right or left, I don't personally, I don't care. And I don't say that in an ugly way. I don't care. Whether you like trucks or cars, I don't care. I mean, if you like a car, great. As long as it doesn't impact me buying a truck or something or owning a truck, I don't care. And this idea that whatever I like and whatever I do, you have to do, and you have to do, and you have to do. And I want to see more of this idea that I have. I want to see more of that idea everyone has to do. And I think that's where we went wrong in this country, is that we push a certain idea that you have to do these things that I like, and you have to accept them, and you have to participate in the things that I like to do, because I like to do them, you like to do them. Okay, do what I say, and do as I do. You know, Warsaw, I love the reading the song. What happened to Charlie Kirk was no different. The thing is like, we actually saw an assassination. I'll say on TV, but obviously, right, Kennedy, right, the Kennedys, right, both brothers, MLK, of course. Can you imagine if everyone had cell phones back then? We would have had all kind of different angles, and even now they're saying the whole, Charlie Kirk event. I'm already seeing videos now. It's like, oh no, this is the shooter. And you just see his hand raised, and he went back. And then some of the guys, security guards, were doing this. They were doing it. And it's like all the conspiracy things are out. And I'm just like, Jesus, like, And then it's like the shooter doesn't look like the guy that was on the video, the guy that they caught. Supposedly he's not the shooter, and I'm just like, Jesus, here we go. Hey, what's up, Dad, on the E2? How long you been listening, man? I just started off talking about the world, like where we're at today, and of course we're talking about the Charlie Kirk thing and pushing ideas and agendas, and it's like, and I always find this funny to me. About 20 seconds. Dang it, nah. And welcome aboard. You can catch the first, whatever, how long we've been on. Let me see. Oh shit, I don't have my glasses on. Anyway, you can watch the beginning, whatever. But it's been good so far. But the thing is, like, you know, whenever the debates would happen, right? And it's like, first of all, you know, he welcomed everybody up there, whether you agreed or didn't agree. Of course, the majority of people that were there were for him and that political side of the spectrum. And it always amazed me, the ones that went up there and talked to disagree with him, they all had one thing in common, and that is they yelled. They were like overhyped, overstimulated, angry, talking, shouting, and then they would usually end it with, fuck you, and then it would walk off. And I'm like, let's be an adult here. Let's have a conversation, right? And the thing is to go back, and that again is the mindset of that whole group of people, is like, if you don't like what I have to say, you're a fascist. If you don't like what I have to say, you're a bigot. If you don't like what I have to say, you're wrong, right? And it's like, we can agree to disagree. And I know Seller559 has mentioned this past, even did a video. It's like, I don't agree to disagree. I just told people, when we don't agree, I don't associate with you like that. And I can respect that, to each their own, right? I'm more of the kind-minded, where I'm like, hey, we can agree to disagree, and we can still sit down and have a cup of coffee and talk about other things, the birds and the bees. I don't know. And I mean the birds and the bees, not in a sexual way, but just, we can talk about other stuff. I have a nephew that we don't necessarily agree on politics, but there's a lot of other things in the world that we do agree about. And I try to find things in common that we can talk about. Like I said before, we all have things in common. We all like to eat. We all like to put clothes in the back. We all like a roof over our head. We all like having a livable wage, right? We all have bills to pay. These are things in common that we can share and talk about, that we like and don't like, right? And we can leave that other stuff off the table. We don't have to talk about that. And while this person is my family, I have nieces and nephews and friends, extended friends, that live a certain lifestyle, right? They may be with the same sex, the party, and I don't care about that. It doesn't affect me. I love them, right? As a human being, I love this person and I love that person because they're my family, right? But I'll say this, whenever family has gotten together and they're like, hey, we're gonna go to a drag queen show, whatever, would you like to come with us? And I'm like, respectfully, no thanks, I'll pass. And at the same time, when I say that, I'm not gonna be that person that goes down there and protests and stand in front of it with a sign. I don't believe in that, right? That's not my thing, but I'm not gonna stop you from going, and I'm not gonna preach to you that you shouldn't go, right? That's what you wanna do, hey, live your life. This is America. You do what you want to do. But again, don't force that idea on me, and don't force or make me feel bad for not going. And respectfully, my family doesn't. I mean, I have a very chill family, and birds and the bees, LOL's pretty much taken that way. But the thing is, like, why can't we be more like that? Why can't we agree to disagree? Why can't we live in a kumbaya world, right? And I know it's not going to be perfect. Things are going to take place, but it's like that whole freedom of speech goes both ways, right? You have the right to express yourself, to assimilate, to share your ideas, but I also have the right not to agree. I also have the right not to attend or go or respond or have a conversation with you. I have a right not to go up to the mic and debate you on this, because debating someone in this day and age, it never goes the way you think it goes. Nobody will ever say, and I've done this silly role play where I'll go like, you going into whatever it is you believe in, right? That other person's not going to say, gosh, Garly, gosh, darn, you are so right. I never thought of it that way. You know what? You just changed my mind. I can't believe I was thinking in that way. I'm going to join your team. It never goes that way. It never does. You can point out 20 things against the other side. They're going to come back and point out 20 or more things up against your side. And it just goes for tit for tat. This thing just continues and continues and it never ends. Which is why I don't talk about politics or religion to people. I just leave those on the table. If you want to join the team, join it. If you're against it, you're against it. It doesn't, as long as we don't fight over this and you're pushing your ideas on me, I'm okay. Live your life, right? The stuff we're seeing, let's see, let me go back up here. Obama said no in the office, and when he legalized gay, it wasn't the issue I was seeing, it was a problem. It wasn't that he just opened the can. And the Patriot, I don't think we'll ever unsee that undoing or whatever. And I'm not saying I want to see it. It is what it is. This part we may disagree on, but whatever's been done on that, we're past that, right? I think at this point, moving forward, let's don't create any more things that will divide us. But that may be impossible. I mean, I may be totally wrong in that. I'm just like, I think I think once you open up a can of worms, I guess this is what I'm trying to say. Once you open up a can of worms and people are adjusted to that, whatever can of worms it is, you're never going to go back on that. It's just, that door's closed, that door's open. It'll stay closed or open at this point. But I do hear what you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I don't think we're going to go backwards in life. Next will be we'll be having femme robots that we're married to as a male or female, and we're just going to find a lifetime robot partner, right? The stuff okay, let me go down here. This is what I was warning people when I was in high school. Okay. No, I hear you, Warsaw. I hear you, brother. People have lost and that's an understatement, right? People have lost their sight of reality because they want to live in this imaginary world that we all have collective as parents. That hey, you can do whatever you want. You can be a cat, right? You can dress up as a cat and pretend you're a cat, and you can walk around in society and say meow, meow. But as I say, arguing people who are determined to argue and disagree is like slamming. I totally agree with you. Well, you end up, yeah. And this is what I've said on some of my saying. No, I agree with you, Red. Marrying a robot. I'm just saying, and it's insane, the idea that China. Yeah, I've seen those videos where it's like fembots and stuff, and I think that's coming. I think it's already here. It's just, again, you're creating a virtual reality for people to say, hey, I want, I'm an ugly dude or woman. I'm 200 pounds. I'm a balding female or male. I've got a bunch of teeth missing. I'm never going to find that perfect person. So let me create the perfect person for me. And I can power that person down, put her in the closet, and go live my life. And then when I want the company, I'll turn it back on. And if she breaks down, I'll send her back to the shop and have them send me a new one or something. I don't know. me and my coworker were laughing about that. And the thing is, people today now, it's like a lot of younger people, they don't even want to be in relationships, which is crazy to me. It's kind of like the new generation doesn't even want to drive now. They don't, I had one of my daughters, my youngest one, and then I've heard other people say, these kids are crazy. I remember when I was 15, 16 years old, I went and got my learner's permit, and I was on the streets driving. That's my generation too, Gen X, right? But kids today, I think it has to do with, they don't want the responsibility of like driving, paying insurance, hitting something or someone, putting gas, keeping up with the maintenance, the tires, the battery, the oil change. It's like, it's too much pressure. I don't want to do it. So like, I'll just take an Uber. I'll just take I'll walk, take a bike, take the bus. And I'm like, don't you want the independence of driving? And I think we're seeing that generation getting away from that idea of like being independent and being self-reliant on themselves to being like, I need someone to help me, I need someone to take me from point A to point B. I'm like, don't you want to drive and have the independence? That's crazy to me. All right, so let's see. The robots will be tempting. The robots will be tempting. They already started creating sex robots after years later when Rick and Monty TV series had an episode. Oh, I believe you. No, the monthly subscription cost will be prohibitive. Sounds off, bud. Sounds off. My sound is off. Hello, hello. Testing. Am I? Are you saying my sound is off, or you talking about what Dad or Petra said? There it goes. There it goes. So never mind. Let me know if you can still hear me. 5x5. Test, test, test. Sound. Okay. So my sound's good? Is that what we're saying? Sound is good? Say sound is good, Red, so I know, or say 5x5 or something. Because I don't know what you mean. JH says sounds off, bud. And then you said sound. And so now I'm trying to figure out, like, what are we talking about? Are you talking about what Patriot said? Sister, LOL, damn, autocorrect. 5x5, okay. All right, we're good. But I don't want to wear out the conversation with just, the whole Charlie Kirk thing. I think we all feel and think a certain way about the situation. And I see a movement that's happening. Like, you've just ignited and sparked a movement now that we're going to see. And I'll follow up on this and I'll kind of move on. But I've seen so many videos where this one guy and I think a lady, two different content creators, they're actually reporting any videos that they find on the internet where people are making fun of the whole event that happened with Charlie. And those people are getting fired, dude. And corporations today corporations are already hurting financially today, right? Because the job market sucks. The economy is not flourishing yet. I think it will. I think it's just a matter of time. I know people keep saying they're tired of waiting, whatever. Something has to give, right? I believe it's going to change. But right now, companies they're not playing around. If it means giving into one side of the party and allowing certain flags or the idea of, a certain mindset, I think corporations are picking money or them or they. They're going with their profits because they're already at an all-time low as far as the market goes. You can't be messing with their money. That money is going to supersede your rights, your privileges, your thoughts and ideas. I'll say that, your thoughts and ideas. So if a corporation you work for has to choose between making their own money and keeping that business going and profits, or your ideas and feelings, they're going to go with the money every time. And I think that's what we're seeing now, that it's like the tide has shifted, right? The tide has shifted to be where they're not in a position where like, hey, we're leaning to this side more because of the whole, trend of they, them, how, cat, me, dog, whatever, we got to get back to some basics, man. We got to get back to like staying out of politics, staying out of like, and don't get me wrong, we want to be fair. We want to make everybody feel welcome, but to what cost, right? At what cost are you going to lean so far left that now it's affecting your profits, right? Your money, the money, right? And I think that's the shift that we're seeing. I think that we're seeing things change in a direction where it's like, we're not coming back from this. If we don't get back to the spectrum of being balanced, right? And not being this way or that way, we have to stay in the middle and be a business and keep religion and keep all the other stuff. Now, there are companies that say they're religious. I think Hobby Lobby, they're closed on Sundays. Chick-fil-A, they're closed on Sundays. And I'm sure there's other businesses out there that that have announced, hey, we're a Christian-based corporation or company, and we believe in God and all that, and we value the holidays, so we're not open, we're closed. So, but yeah, I just, and just like anybody else that kind of brings up the conversation or wants to have the conversation with the opposing side, I just feel it's exhausting, it's draining, right? It goes nowhere. Hold on. Now dogs are going crazy. All right, I feel like it goes crazy, right? It goes nowhere, and I'm gonna, I'm not gonna lie, it sucks, and I'm single most of my life, or dated, but I think I saved myself from all. You and thousands of other guys have expressed the same thing, Patriot, and it's annoying. Anyone that has dogs, just know that if you have dogs that bark all the time, it is annoying for your neighbors. It may not be annoying for you, but I know as a dog owner, previous dog owner, for 13 years of a German Shepherd named Max. I love my dog. He used to bark the shit out of things, right? But it didn't bother me as his dog owner. Even when I left, I'm like, man, he's barking a lot. Now that I don't have a dog, it's annoying. So control your dogs if you can. Be thoughtful of your neighbors. I deal with that shit all the time near my neighbors. Bark, bark, bark. Oh yeah. So this sends a vibration over there for them to shut them. Right. I like dogs, man. I like dogs, but not to the point where it's like I want to come out here and enjoy my space and quietness and humbleness. I don't want to hear your dogs and your dogs over there. It's just like, dude, shut the. So, but yeah, when I use this thing and I get close enough over there, but they just got two little dogs and they're freaking like, and then they have two little dogs over there. So it's like, and it's just, and they're good neighbors. They are. They're really good neighbors, and they're mindful, and they're like, I'm sorry, Red. Sorry that my dog. And I'm like, it's fine. They don't. But they do try to be mindful that if they know I'm out here, they'll bring the dogs inside, or if I'm working back here, and they're like, oh, he's cutting the grass. Man, speaking of the grass is just burnt to shit. Everyone's yard in my neighborhood in Texas, it's just lost, man. There's no coming back from this. So. Let's see. What else? Anyway, even at 12 and 8 in the morning, yeah. Oh no, I deal with that shit all the time. I have another device over there. I need to go adjust it or whatever, but it'll send like a bark shockwave back. So give me a second. Hold on. Go fix this stuff. All right. Hopefully that helps. It's like, hey, control your dogs, or someone else is gonna control them. So, it's a bigger. He's only always gotta head out red. Okay, always gotta head out red. Hope you. Okay, brother, have a good one, man. Let's see, what time is this? I mean, I enjoy talking. Maybe another 20, 30 minutes. What do you guys think? Any topics you want to talk about? Drop them in the comment and we'll talk about it. Let me see what else I want. Mainly just about that life. Um, just I was thinking to myself, I don't have time to waste on nonsense. I don't have time to like debate with people. I just live in my life, man. I'm just trying to be at peace, be thankful, be humble, Plus, I don't want to add to my nerves. I don't want to add to stress or like, I don't want to get myself to a point where like, man, I got high blood pressure. Now I need medicine, this and that. Like, I want to stay away from that as much as I can and prolong that as long as I can. Because I want to enjoy my life. I want to be able to like just be at peace, you know, just to be at peace. And I know I don't have all the answers, but as Nacho Libre would say, my life is good, real good. My life is good. My life is balanced. My life is good for the most part. I'm healthy, as best as I can be. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I try to watch what I eat. Not perfect because I have life's pleasures too. But um, I'm just, I'm trying to stay at a good point in my life, and not, and just like anybody else, I'm human too. I can be hypocritical at times. I can be opinionated, but I don't want to live my life like that. I want to live a good life and be balanced and be at peace and respect other people's ideas and opinions and sexuality and religion, all that. Like, hey, we got lucky and got more rain. They let the cows and horses in the house pasture, so they're being keeping the grass mowed. Oh well, that's good. That's good. You need balance. That's called balance, right? Life's balance. But I don't know. Other than that, today is Sunday. I was gonna go visit my mom, but I just she's sick, and then my sister who lives with her, and one or two of her kids are sick too, and I'm just like, I'm not going over there. Thanks, Mom. I'll see you at the end of the month for your birthday. And but other than that, guys, I think just learning from other people's situations and events, and realizing you're not gonna change minds. I'm at the point now, like, you may be able to influence certain people. You may be able to influence and touch one person out there and motivate them in a positive way to go in a certain direction. But there's too much there's too much bad in the world for me to contribute to that, right? There's already enough negativity. I don't need to contribute to that anymore. You know, what I can do is like I can be the change for me, and then if that change for me influences someone down the line, or they see a bit like, man, this guy's positive. I like what he has to say. I like that. I'm going to use that in my life today. Then I made some difference, right? I've made a little difference in someone else's life by being who I am and being positive and not feeding into the giant world of negativity, right? There's already enough of that, right? And at the end of the day, I would really like to see, and I know this is a long stretch, I would really like to see politicians start getting back to like kumbaya. We're not going to agree on everything. Let's get back to being normalized. Let's get back to like bringing balance to this whole system in America. Let's get back to working together, right? Let's have a beer, let's have a Coke, let's sit down and talk, let's have some coffee, and not sit there and break each other down, and not sit there and point and saying this and that, because it's just tit for tat. We've seen it for years already. We've been seeing this since like, really bad. I think it started when the first term of Trump. It's like, I think at that point in 2016 or 2015, the campaign run was between Hillary and Trump. I think we were at a turning point as Americans that we wanted to see a change, right? And that change was that we saw was in Trump, right? Is he the all savior, the all being? No, I don't believe that. I believe that he was the light of change that a lot of us wanted to see. Now, someone will say things didn't really change. Some will say we saw some changes, but this second term around, I definitely see the changes, right? Some people will say for the good. Some people say, well, for the worse, right? Um, I just hope that whatever or whoever is in office at the time bring some type of balance back to the system, right? Because there's always going to be changes, right? But I think there's going to be enough changes made this go around that it's going to affect us long lasting into years to come. Is that a good thing? If you voted for him, is it a bad thing if you didn't, right? But there's always going to be change. It doesn't, whenever there's a new administration, a new boss at your job, new employees, there's always going to be that change, right? I think, but you as an individual you have to keep balance, right? You have to be the one to keep balance to hopefully impact or influence someone else, and that continues where you just stay humble, you stay grounded, right? Now, don't forget to check my tribute. I will, brother. I got the window open, so as soon as I'm done here, I will go check it out. Like I said, I have the window open here. It says 4 minutes and 7 seconds, and it starts out with him holding his hand like that. So I will, and I'll leave a comment and all that, so you know. So if you can, and in fact, before I forget, let me create a post, and I'm going to share yours, and I will say, check out this tribute. Okay, I'm gonna post it and share it on my community page. Okay, I got you, brother. But yeah, that this is the person that I am. The way that I'm speaking to you, I'm not this way. And they're like, I'm gonna go out and do something rebellish. I'm gonna go out there and destroy some property. That's not me, right? What you see here is what you get in real life. I'm just trying to stay calm, be civil, be understanding, be open-minded. Even if I don't agree with you, I'm listening to what you have to say. Maybe I'll pick up a little something of this and a little something of that, and I'll run with it. And I'll be like, okay, I understand the world just a little bit more today. I don't have all the answers. I'm looking for answers, right? I'm looking for answers and trying to understand why people are the way they are. And some I will never understand, right? If you're a person, if you're a murderer or you're someone that abuses people of a certain age, I will never understand that, nor do I want to understand that. That's just a sick-minded individual. I don't want to understand someone like that. But in general, most decent people, I want to understand them. I want to be able to say, oh, okay, I get it. I get the mindset. I don't agree with it, but I understand now why you think the way you do. Maybe it had to do with your upbringing. Maybe it had to do with you not having one parent, or maybe both your parents were shitty. I don't know. Maybe you were just a weirdo kid growing up, and that explains why you are the way you are. And I don't say that in a mean way. I understand now why you're this way. You know. Again, I'm not perfect. I have flaws. I make mistakes, right? I've done bad. I've done people wrong, and not necessarily intentionally. And I always try to make up for that. Like, hey man, my bad. Like, I fucked up, or I shouldn't have done that. I apologize. I always try to be the first one to initiate that and say, let me learn from this. Let me make this right somehow, as best as I can. You know. But I'm gonna finish up here, guys. Do y'all have any last words or anything you want to say, or Again, this was just a kind of a food for thought moment. Like, let me go out there and just express some some thoughts on the world and just say, live your life. I'm gonna end this with this. Live your life, guys. Whatever it is, wherever you're at, whoever you're with, whatever it is you do, whatever you believe in, whatever you're fighting for, whatever it is that you are seeking in life, live your life and stay humble and be at peace. And hopefully you're doing something that is constructive in a positive way, that will help someone along the way, or you will, or that will like lift somebody up, or you're not going to change people's lives, you're not going to change the world, but maybe you can like point them in that direction. And I mean that, like, homeless person, right? You buy them a meal, you buy them a drink, give them some money, you give them some clothes, pay for their haircut, whatever. You're not going to change that person and be like, oh my God, with this haircut you gave me, I just feel like I'm a new person. I'm going to go get me a job now. Or like, Man, you bought me a cup of coffee. That cured me from being an alcoholic. That cured me. You're not going to see that kind of change, but I hope that you can help someone, that it pushes them in that direction, that because they have to be the one to change, right? They have to be the one that says, "Hey, I don't want to live this way anymore. I don't want to be this kind of person. I don't want to do these things anymore. I need to get off the streets and get my ass up and pull my bootstraps up, and I need to go to work. I need to do the things that I got to do to get me to where I need to be in life." Right? Deep breath. All right, guys, have a blessed day. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'll post some of the videos, my little short things on my shorts, just little sayings I have, and hopefully it'll reach someone or help someone. And stay tuned. And God willing, we'll come back again next weekend or soon, or you'll see more videos from me. And I hope that I have a lengthy, long life on this earth, as long as possible. But at the end of the day, we're all going to pass, right? God's going to call us home at some point, and you just have to make use of the time you have now, because every person's hourglass is running out of that sand little by little each day, some faster than others. And all this stuff that I see in my backyard and stuff that I haven't, I'm not taking it with me. It's going to be passed on, sold, thrown away, given away, and that's that, right? That's such as life. So, and I think that's the thing, that where I'm at now, it's like, I don't want to possess more stuff than I need, and the stuff that I don't need, I want to figure a way to get rid of it, sell it, give it away, trash it, whatever. But this is what happens when you accumulate stuff over time. I'm going to need that wire one day. I'm going to need those screws one day. And then you never use it. It's like, shit. Now someone has to clean it up. So, anyway, all right. Adios. God bless. I will see you around. Right out.